Good evening, beautiful people. You know I'm all about accountability, transparency, and fighting the kind of hypocrisy that shakes trust in our institutions. Today, we've got one of those stories that might look like a win for justice, but when you peel back the layers, you start seeing something a whole lot messier. We're talking about Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, a fixture of mainstream liberal politics, and a legal drama that's far from over. Her criminal case was just dismissed, but a brand new bar complaint has popped up. And it raises serious questions about not just her conduct, but about how the law is used or misused, depending on who you are. Welcome to Nellie Miranda.
A judge dismissing the charges against both former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. The judge finding the prosecutor in those cases, Lindsay Halligan, was illegally appointed, meaning any actions she's taken as acting U.S. attorney were unlawful.
As always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and what a Christmas present that would be. Thank you all for your support so far. Okay, so here's the situation. On November 24th, a federal judge dismissed the criminal case against Letitia James. The reason wasn't that she was proven to be innocent. The reason was procedural. The prosecutor who brought the case, Lindsay Halligan, was ruled to have been illegally appointed. That means everything she did in that role, including the indictment, was declared invalid. For now, that's a win for James.
Also in Virginia, but down in Norfolk, the DOJ was charging Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, with mortgage fraud. The government had claimed she was able to secure a favorable rate on a second home down there, but she had not filed the proper paperwork, basically had lied on that paperwork, and that she had never occupied it as a primary or secondary residence. Basically, they accused her of using it as a rental property, but she got a lower mortgage rate. She had pled not guilty to those charges while she was down in Norfolk, and she had also been quite vocal, saying that this was a political prosecution and that she felt that she was being singled out because of her previous actions against then candidate Trump after he had left office in 2021. So what's next here? Well, the Department of Justice will have a chance to say what they think of the judge's ruling, whether they're going to be pushing for an appeal, and whether or not that they would still try to bring any of these additional cases here. Lindsay Halligan, as I mentioned, is still being questioned about whether or not she is serving appropriately in this role. As you see her right here on her screen, Halligan is likely to have plenty to say as well. There have been some questions about her lack of prosecutorial experience before this case, but the Department of Justice also making it very clear that they want to see these people brought to justice. They felt that there had been wrongdoing here, and we'll look to see what their official comment will be.
But win for Letitia James doesn't mean clean slate, because just days later, a conservative watchdog group, Center to Advance Security in America, also known as CASA, filed a bar complaint against James with the Manhattan and Bronx Attorney Grievance Committee. They accused her of illegal and dishonest conduct, pointing to the same mortgage fraud allegations and what they view as inconsistent ethics disclosures about a Virginia property she bought. So yes, the criminal charges may have been tossed, but now the question shifts from, was there unlawful criminal intent, to did a public official misrepresent information, violate trust, or abuse her position? And I think that matters a lot, because this isn't just about Letitia James. It's about a system that bends based on who holds the power. We're constantly lectured about ethics and integrity by people who cannot seem to live up to their own standards. The real issue isn't the speech they give, it's the behavior that they hide. But again, she's not completely out of the woods. And in fact, the DOJ plans to appeal very soon.
The DOJ and Pam Bondi ready to make their next move as a federal judge dismisses the criminal indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James, saying that the prosecutor was not legally appointed.
We'll be taking all available legal action, including an immediate appeal, to hold Letitia James and James Comey accountable for their unlawful conduct. We have made Lindsay Halligan a special U.S. attorney, so she is in court. She can fight in court just like she was, and we believe we will be successful on appeal.
Republican political strategist and lawyer Katie Zachariah joins me now to discuss. Katie, how can the DOJ fix this?
Well, thanks, Todd, and good morning. Look, we're looking at a situation where you have 28 United States Code Section 546 that applies in this situation, and the language is clear. The U.S. Attorney under Section, or the Attorney General under Section A can appoint a U.S. Attorney, as Pam Bondi did, and with Lindsay Halligan. And the district court is trying to argue this very vague language under Section D of the 28 United States Code that the district court should have appointed a judge rather than Pam Bondi, but it's vague. It says the district court may appoint a U.S. attorney in the absence of, the attorney general doing so. Todd, this judge is Judge Curry. Clinton judge is trying to run the clock on statute of limitations, protect Comey and James, and I think Pam Bondi will succeed on appeal.
Okay.
This whole saga feels like a textbook example of politicized justice. And some can argue it's politicized justice on both sides. A Democratic prosecutor, Eric Siebert, refused to bring charges, which I don't know why he did not, because it's clear to me that both Comey and James are guilty. But then a Trump-appointed prosecutor came in and did just that, and now everyone on the left is screaming it's political prosecution. And then a save from a Clinton-appointed judge comes in the form of a technicality, not a full exoneration on facts. So you still have to ask, what message does that send to everyday Americans about fairness and equal treatment under the law? Regular citizens don't get to break laws and avoid consequences by minor technicalities. That double standard where the powerful slide when it suits them chips away at the legitimacy of the justice system. And if we care about preserving the rule of law, then we need to call that out no matter the party. But here's Letitia James' statement on the case being dismissed. She said she is heartened by the action of the judge, but she is not disheartened that she puts people in jail for the very same thing she's allegedly guilty of.
I want to read the statement that we're getting in from New York Attorney General Letitia James, in which she says, "I am heartened by today's victory and grateful for the prayers and support I have received from around the country." She goes on, "I remain fearless in the face of these baseless charges as I continue fighting for New Yorkers every single day."
This isn't about seeking revenge or cheering for politicians' downfall. It's about demanding integrity. We want laws applied evenly and consequences based on evidence, not influence or identity. So where will this case go from here? The Barr complaint could open the door to a real ethics investigation. And if those allegations stick, Letitia James could be facing serious professional consequences. There's also the possibility that the feds will take another shot at this case since the dismissal didn't shut the door entirely. And as they have stated, they will be appealing, so we'll have to watch out for that. And hanging over everything is a much bigger question. Will this push lawmakers to fix the way that interim prosecutors are appointed? Because if these loopholes stay open, we're left with a justice system that's more about connections and timing than truth and accountability. So for now, Letitia James dodged criminal conviction, but she is not out of the woods. And if we care about fairness, about the rule of law, we need to call this what it is. It is a test. It's a test of whether America wants equal justice under the law or justice for the politically connected. Do you think powerful politicians get treated differently as if they are above the law? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.